Experiencing changes in your body as you get older is completely normal. It's a natural part of life, but sometimes those changes can bring up feelings of worry, frustration, or even embarrassment, especially when they involve something as personal as your sexual health. Many men tell me they just try to ignore things, hoping they'll get better on their own, or they feel too uncomfortable to talk about it even with their doctor. They might feel like it's just something they have to accept as they age, a painful reality that's unavoidable. This hesitation to speak up means they miss out on crucial information and potential help. What if I told you that some of the earliest signs you might be noticing could be incredibly important clues to your overall health, not just your sexual function? Urologists see this all the time. They know that paying attention to subtle changes early on can make a world of difference. In this video, we're going to look at 3 specific early signs of erectile dysfunction, or ED, that urologists say you should absolutely never ignore. These aren't just about your sex life. They can be signals your body is sending you about your health in general. Understanding them is the first step towards feeling more in control and getting the right support. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you, something truly important about these signs that most men don't realize. So, let's dive into the first of these early signs that urologists pay close attention to. It's not always a complete inability to get an erection, which is what many men picture when they think of ED. Often, the first sign is much more subtle. It's about consistency, or rather, the lack of it. Imagine a situation where sometimes everything works just fine. You can achieve an erection and enjoy intimacy. But other times, in similar circumstances, it just doesn't happen, or it's much more difficult to achieve. Or maybe you can get an erection, but you find it hard to maintain it throughout sexual activity. It might fade before or during intercourse, making penetration difficult or impossible to complete. This inconsistency can be incredibly frustrating and confusing. One night is okay, the next isn't. You might start questioning yourself, feeling anxious about the next attempt, which can unfortunately make the problem worse. This fluctuation is a key early indicator. It suggests that the system responsible for erections isn't functioning optimally all the time. Erections require a complex interplay between your brain, nerves, hormones, and crucially, your blood vessels. Blood flow is absolutely essential. For an erection to occur, blood vessels in the penis need to relax and expand, allowing blood to rush in and become trapped, creating rigidity. If there are issues starting to develop in any part of this pathway, perhaps the blood vessels aren't quite as responsive as they were, or nerve signals are slightly dulled, or there's some underlying stress or fatigue. It might only show up sometimes, especially when other factors like anxiety are present or when you're feeling particularly tired. Think of it like a car engine that sometimes sputters on hills but works fine on flat roads. It might not be a total breakdown yet, but it's a sign that something isn't running as smoothly as it should. Ignoring this inconsistency is easy to do. You might just chalk it up to a bad day, too much to drink, or being tired. And while those things can certainly play a role occasionally, if this pattern starts happening more frequently, even if it's not every time, it's your body trying to tell you something. Why is this inconsistency so important to recognize early? Because it's often the very beginning of a process. It suggests that the factors interfering with erections are present, but perhaps not yet severe. Catching it at this stage means you have a better chance of identifying the root cause and potentially reversing or significantly improving the situation with simpler interventions. For example, early changes in blood vessel function might first show up as difficulty maintaining firmness under certain conditions, but might still allow a full erection when you're very relaxed or stimulated. If ignored, those blood vessel changes might progress, leading to more consistent problems. Furthermore, this inconsistency can sometimes point to psychological factors starting to play a role. The anxiety of not being sure if you'll be able to perform can create a vicious cycle where the worry itself makes it harder to get or keep an erection. This is called performance anxiety, and it's a very real issue that can contribute to ED, especially in the early stages. You might think, well, it works sometimes, so it's not a real problem. But that variability is precisely the problem. It's the system starting to falter under certain demands. Keeping track, even mentally, of when it happens and when it doesn't can be helpful information to share with a doctor. Are there specific situations where it's worse? Is it better in the morning than at night? Does it depend on your stress levels? These observations provide valuable clues. Many men over 60 may also be dealing with other health conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or diabetes. These conditions, even when managed, can start affecting blood vessels over time. Inconsistency in erections can be one of the earliest signs that these underlying health issues are starting to impact blood flow to the penis. Sometimes it might even be a side effect of medications you're taking for these or other conditions. Drugs for blood pressure, depression, anxiety, or even common over-the-counter medications can sometimes affect erectile function. The point is, this inconsistency isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a signal that something in your body's complex machinery is beginning to change, and understanding the why behind it is crucial. Don't brush it off as just getting older. It's a symptom that warrants attention. Recognizing this as a potential early sign of ED, rather than just a random occurrence, is the first step towards addressing it proactively. It gives you the opportunity to look into potential causes and take action before the problem becomes more constant and potentially harder to treat. It's about tuning into what your body is telling you and giving yourself the best chance to maintain not just sexual health, but overall well-being. So, if you've noticed this pattern of inconsistency, where things work sometimes but not others, or maintaining firmness is becoming challenging at times, consider it a sign that's worth exploring further with a healthcare professional. It's about understanding your body and taking care of it, not about judgment or embarrassment. Now that we've talked about the importance of noticing inconsistency in achieving or maintaining an erection, let's move on to the second early sign that urologists highlight. This one focuses on the quality of the erection when it is achieved. It's about the firmness or rigidity. You might still be able to get an erection, but you notice that it's not as firm or as rigid as it used to be. It might feel softer, less full, or simply not hard enough to allow for comfortable or successful penetration. You can achieve an erection, but it's just not quite all there. This reduced firmness is a significant early indicator because it directly relates to the amount of blood flow and pressure building up in the penis. A fully rigid erection requires a substantial amount of blood to be quickly trapped within the erectile tissues. If the blood vessels supplying the penis are starting to narrow, become less elastic, or if the mechanisms that trap the blood aren't working quite as efficiently, the erection you get might be softer than before, even if you're feeling aroused. Imagine filling a balloon. If you have a strong pump and a good seal, the balloon inflates fully and becomes firm. If the pump isn't quite as strong or there's a slight leak, the balloon might still inflate, but it won't be as taut or rigid. That's a simple way to think about what might be happening with reduced firmness. This sign is often noticed when attempted intercourse feels different, or perhaps partners notice the change as well. It can lead to difficulties with certain positions or reduced sensation for both partners. Like inconsistency, reduced firmness can be frustrating and lead to self-doubt. You might try harder to get a firmer erection, which can increase anxiety and make the problem worse in the moment. Why is this specifically a sign you shouldn't ignore? Because reduced firmness is very often linked directly to the health of your blood vessels. Atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque in the arteries, commonly affects smaller blood vessels first before impacting larger ones. The arteries supplying the penis are quite small compared to, say, the coronary arteries that supply the heart. Therefore, they can be among the first to show signs of reduced blood flow due to early arterial disease. If the arteries to the penis are starting to be affected, it can be an early warning signal that blood vessels elsewhere in your body, including those vital ones leading to your heart and brain, might also be undergoing similar changes. So, reduced firmness isn't just a sexual issue, it can be a red flag for potential cardiovascular health concerns down the road. This is a key reason why urologists take this symptom very seriously. It prompts them to think about your overall vascular health. Diabetes is another condition that can significantly impact nerve and blood vessel function, leading to reduced firmness. High cholesterol can contribute to plaque buildup. High blood pressure puts extra strain on blood vessels over time. Neurological conditions, even subtle nerve damage, can interfere with the signals needed for a strong erection. Hormonal imbalances, particularly low testosterone, can also play a role in reduced firmness, though low testosterone is more often associated with reduced libido than with erection quality itself. However, it's part of the picture a doctor would look at. Certain medications, as mentioned before, can also impact firmness. What can you do if you notice this? Pay attention. How often does it happen? Is it always the case now, or does it vary? Again, observing these patterns is useful. Consider your lifestyle. Are you getting enough physical activity? What's your diet like? Are you managing stress effectively? Are you getting enough sleep? All of these factors can influence blood vessel health and nerve function. If you smoke, recognizing reduced firmness is yet another powerful reason to consider quitting, as smoking severely damages blood vessels. While lifestyle changes can sometimes help improve blood flow, reduced firmness is a symptom that really warrants a conversation with your doctor. Don't feel like you need to figure it out on your own. Bringing this up allows your doctor to consider the potential underlying causes, including those related to your heart and circulation. They can then recommend appropriate tests, such as checking your blood pressure, cholesterol levels, blood sugar, and possibly hormone levels. Addressing the underlying cause is key, not just attempting to treat the symptom with, say, a pill. By recognizing and discussing reduced firmness early, you're not only taking a step towards improving your sexual health, but potentially also getting important insights into your overall physical well-being and taking steps to protect your heart and brain health for the future. It's about listening to your body's signals, even when they feel uncomfortable to acknowledge, because those signals can be incredibly valuable. Moving on from the quality of erections, let's discuss the third early sign of erectile dysfunction that urologists consider a red flag. This one relates to spontaneous erections, particularly the ones that happen without conscious effort, like morning erections. Many men, especially when they are younger, regularly experience spontaneous erections, such as waking up with one, or having them occur at other times without sexual stimulation. These spontaneous erections are often seen as a sign of healthy erectile function, indicating that the nervous system and blood flow mechanisms are working correctly when the body is at rest. A noticeable decrease in the frequency or complete absence of these spontaneous erections, especially morning erections, is another early sign that something might be changing in the erectile pathway. It doesn't mean you'll never get an erection again, but it suggests that the system is less primed or less easily activated than it used to be. Morning erections, specifically, are thought to be related to the natural sleep cycle, particularly during REM sleep stages. During these stages, there are physiological changes, including increased blood flow and nerve activity, that can trigger erections. The presence of morning erections often indicates that the physical mechanisms for erection are capable of working, even if there are difficulties with erections during sexual activity, which might be linked to psychological factors like anxiety. Conversely, the absence of morning erections can suggest that there might be a physical issue affecting blood flow, nerve function, or hormone levels that is impacting the ability to achieve an erection even under these spontaneous, non-performance-related circumstances. For a man over 60, noticing that morning erections that were once regular are now rare or gone is a significant change that shouldn't be dismissed. It's not just a minor inconvenience, it's a potential signal that the underlying physical health supporting erections is diminishing. While it's true that the frequency of spontaneous erections might naturally decrease somewhat with age, a noticeable and persistent reduction, especially if it coincides with other subtle changes in erectile function or overall health, is definitely worth paying attention to. It's another piece of the puzzle that helps a doctor understand what might be going on. Just like the other signs, a decrease in spontaneous erections can be linked to various underlying health conditions. Poor circulation and cardiovascular issues, as mentioned before, can reduce overall blood flow and make it harder for spontaneous erections to occur. Neurological issues, even early or subtle nerve damage, can interfere with the automatic nerve signals that trigger these erections. Conditions like diabetes, which can damage nerves and blood vessels, are often associated with a reduction or absence of morning erections. Hormonal changes, such as declining testosterone levels, can also contribute, although low testosterone is more strongly linked to reduced sexual desire than the physical ability to get an erection spontaneously. Sleep apnea, a common condition in older adults where breathing stops and starts during sleep, can also interfere with the sleep cycles and oxygen levels necessary for morning erections. Psychological factors like severe depression or anxiety can also impact spontaneous erections by affecting hormone levels and nervous system activity. If you've noticed that spontaneous erections, particularly in the morning, are less frequent or have stopped, it's a clear signal that warrants investigation. Don't just assume it's an inevitable part of aging. While the frequency might decrease slightly, a significant change is not necessarily normal and can indicate an underlying health issue that needs attention. Think about when this change started. Has it been a gradual decline, or did it seem to stop relatively suddenly? Are there any other symptoms you've been experiencing, even seemingly unrelated ones, like fatigue, weight changes, or changes in mood? All this information can be helpful for your doctor. Bringing up the absence of morning erections can provide a doctor with a strong indicator that there's likely a physical component contributing to any erectile difficulties you might be experiencing during sexual activity. It shifts the focus from purely psychological causes to exploring physical and medical reasons. Talking about this with a healthcare professional can open the door to identifying potential underlying health problems that you might not even be aware of. It allows for checks on your cardiovascular health, blood sugar, hormone levels, and other relevant areas. Addressing these underlying issues is often the most effective way to improve erectile function, and more importantly, to improve your overall health and prevent more serious problems down the line. So, if you've noticed this change in spontaneous erections, please don't hesitate to mention it to your doctor. It's a valuable piece of information that helps paint a clearer picture of your health. Recognizing this early sign is about empowering yourself with information and taking proactive steps for your well-being. It's a sign that your body is communicating with you, and it's worth listening to. We've talked about 3 early signs of erectile dysfunction that urologists say are important signals not to ignore. Inconsistency in achieving or maintaining an erection, reduced firmness when an erection is achieved, and a decrease in spontaneous erections, especially morning ones. These aren't just minor inconveniences or something you just have to live with as you get older. They are often your body's way of telling you that something is happening beneath the surface, and paying attention can have far-reaching benefits for your health. As we discussed, these signs can be linked to various underlying conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, hormonal imbalances, or neurological issues. Addressing the erectile difficulty often means addressing these other health concerns, which is incredibly important for your overall well-being. Now remember I mentioned there would be something that might surprise you at the end of this video? Here it is, and it's perhaps the most crucial reason why you should never ignore these early signs. Erectile dysfunction, particularly when it's due to issues with blood flow, is often one of the earliest indicators of potential cardiovascular disease. Yes, you heard that right. Difficulty getting or keeping an erection can be an early warning sign for heart problems, including heart attack and stroke, that might occur years down the line. Think of it this way. The blood vessels in the penis are smaller than the major arteries leading to your heart or brain. They are often the first to show symptoms of damage or plaque buildup that can affect blood flow throughout the body. If the small vessels in the penis are compromised, it's a strong possibility that the larger vessels in your heart and brain are also starting to experience similar issues, even if you haven't had any symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath yet. Urologists and cardiologists often refer to ED as the canary in the coal mine for cardiovascular disease. It's an early signal that the plumbing system throughout your body might not be working as efficiently as it should. Numerous studies have shown a strong link between ED and an increased risk of future cardiovascular events. For many men, experiencing ED might be the first sign they get that their heart health is at risk. This is why ignoring these symptoms is dangerous. It's not just about your sex life. It could literally be about your life. Recognizing ED symptoms early provides a critical window of opportunity to identify and manage cardiovascular risk factors like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and obesity before they lead to more serious and potentially life-threatening events. Seeing a doctor about ED allows them to perform a comprehensive health assessment, including screening for these cardiovascular risk factors. They might check your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar levels, and discuss your family history and lifestyle. The good news is that addressing these underlying health issues often benefits both your cardiovascular health and your erectile function. Lifestyle changes like improving your diet, increasing physical activity, losing weight if you're overweight, managing stress, and quitting smoking can have a significant positive impact on blood vessel health throughout your body, including the penis. Getting underlying conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure under control is also crucial and can often improve erectile function. Furthermore, there are many effective treatments available for ED itself, which can help restore sexual function and improve quality of life. The most important step, though, is acknowledging the signs and talking to a doctor. It takes courage to bring up something so personal, but understanding that it's linked to potentially serious overall health issues underscores just how vital that conversation is. Don't let embarrassment or hesitation stand in the way of getting the care you need. Your doctor has heard it all before and is there to help, not to judge. They can work with you to identify the causes and develop a plan that addresses both your erectile function and your overall health. Remember, experiencing changes in erectile function doesn't mean your best years are behind you. It's a signal that prompts you to take proactive steps for your health, which can allow you to live a fuller, more vibrant life at any age. Small changes can indeed make a big difference to your health and happiness. Paying attention to these early signs is an act of self-care and a crucial step towards maintaining your well-being for years to come. If anything we've discussed today resonates with you, or if you've noticed any of these signs, please make an appointment to talk to your doctor. It's a conversation that could truly make a difference. We hope this information has been helpful and empowering. If you found value in this video, please consider sharing it with someone you care about. You might be helping them more than you know. We'd also love to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these signs or had conversations with your doctor about them? Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments section below. Your insights could help others in our community. If you'd like to see more videos like this, focusing on practical health information for living well at every age, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We're dedicated to providing you with reliable information and support. Thank you for watching. Remember, taking care of your health allows you to live your best life at every age.